What's up, everybody? A long time no see. It's your boy Hokage here. Now, before I start reviewing, I just quickly need to explain why I wasn't uploading for so many days. My last video is episode 56 review, and this is not something that usually happens on my channel. And if you're an old viewer, you know this. Basically, a lot of things happened recently. It was my 18th birthday on the 6th of May. I had the SAT exam, and a lot of other things happened, some things that aren't appropriate, for YouTube. So that was basically the reason, and I'm getting into the old uploading schedule starting from today, literally. And with that said, let's move on to Boruto episode 57 review. What I'm about to mention right now is not gonna affect the rating that I'm gonna give to this episode, because I'm, reviewing this episode as a whole. I'm not, comparing it to the movie. But I just want to point out this because a couple of people in the community haven't seen the movie. So basically, when Naruto basically, tells Boruto, you better not lose to Shikadai, and when he touches his chest, and the movie, Boruto is very happy, when Naruto leaves his room, and he literally tears up. And in the anime, for some fucking reason, they changed it. I mean, it's still satisfying to see, Boruto smiling, but why would you change this? It was so much better in the movie when Boruto teared up. I mean, the entire scene is super emotional, and it was just more emotional in the movie. So I really don't understand that. Because, in the movie, for example, when Boruto meets Sasuke, he starts fanboying, and, his eyes start shining and all that. And in the anime, they changed this, that it didn't happen when, Boruto met Sasuke. It happened later on, which was better because it was more realistic. Because in the anime, even before he met Sasuke, he heard about him when, Team 7 was up against White Zetsu. And then he saw him in front of his house. And then he fought against Sasuke in front of the Hokage office. And then, when he realized how cool or whatnot Sasuke is, he then started fanboying. But this scene with Naruto, with tearing up, I just don't see, I can't logically understand why they changed it. But as I said, it won't affect the rating that I'm gonna give to this episode, which, by the way, is not going to be 10 out of 10, despite the fact that some of the moments or things that happen in this episode are my top 5 moments, literally, of the entire series. So anyway, episode 57, it was very it was kind of strange, but in a positive way, because the episode, at the start of the episode, we have, this little conversation between the Mizukage, the Kazekage, and Sasuke, obviously, and they mention the Otsutsuki clan, and then we get a flashback of Urashiki and Gaara. And in my opinion, it would have been much better if we got the, scene with Urashiki and Gaara at the start of the episode, and then later on, we get the scene with Sasuke and the Kages, because this way, it lacked suspense. Literally, we most of us saw the movie, so we know the Gaara's not gonna die. But why? Why would you do that? Because the way I see it, before the opening, they showed Boruto practicing the Shuriken Jutsu, right? And now he can create 4 clones, and when we add his body to the clones, that's 5 Borutos. For the majority of the anime, he was, using 3 clones, so that's great. But, what I would do is I would have Gaara and Urashiki before the opening. Then opening, starts. We see the training, and then later on, we see Sasuke conversating with the Kages. And it's I just don't understand. The same thing that I mentioned about the scene with Naruto and Boruto. I don't understand why would you do something like that. It lacked, it wasn't suspenseful at all. And this is going to affect the rating of the episode, because that was supposed to be a suspenseful moment. Now, the thing is, Urashiki was involved, and we all know that he's not this super badass villain, right? He's kind of casual, sometimes even funny, but in a very weird way, so to say. so it's not that big of a deal. But still, I think like it was a mistake having that as a flashback. Now, Urashiki, when he was there with Gaara, he obviously he literally, the thing he used against Gaara, he literally went through his sand, right? And it really shows how overpowered Urashiki really is. And he took something from Gaara, and I believe that that something was a bit of Shukaku's chakra, because earlier in the anime, Gaara was seen talking to Shukaku. Shukaku told him about the A-Tails and, you know, all that. And for some reason, many people were thinking that Gaara is the new Jinchuriki, and I've been talking about this with multiple people on Twitter. And, you know, I even had people telling me to make a video about this, but I was just saying one thing all the time: there's just no way that he's a Jinchuriki, and obviously he is not. And I suppose that the chakra he had inside of him was enabling him to talk to Shukaku, because obviously they're like friends right now. And now I guess Urashiki took that. Now, the interesting thing is that Urashiki didn't kill Gaara. I'm pretty sure if he wanted to, he could have killed him in like 5 seconds, because literally he was already in Gaara's heart area here. And like, as I said, he could have killed him easily, I'm 100% sure. But he decided not to do it. And, you know, we had the scene with Toneri, right, on the moon, and he told that he can't do it. He doesn't have the right to kill somebody from the clan, right? But this is just a regular human being. He's not even a Jinchuriki. So, like, why would you not kill him? And that really proves the point that, you know, Urashiki's character is a bit more complex. Now, you know, saying that his character is complex is huge, because we still don't know his motives, we don't know his backstory or anything like that. But ever since he was introduced, he always does something interesting or something controversial. For instance, I talked about this in the past when he told Momoshiki and Kenshiki about the Jinchurikis, about Kaguya, her sons and all that. He never mentioned Toneri on the moon. It almost felt as if he didn't want them to know about Toneri because they would kill him. Because like he refers to Momoshiki and Kenshiki as his superiors, right? And maybe they have the right to kill what's his name? Toneri. I really don't know. I mean, when Urashiki was talking to Momoshiki, I believe in episode 56, first he was like Momoshiki senpai, and then he was like Momo-chan. So we don't really know their positions in the clan, because, you know, Urashiki is a fucking troll, right? But anyway, Gaara, Sasuke, and Chojuro discuss about the exams. And, you know, it really shows that despite the fact that it's peace right now, it's still like not 100% peace, in terms of if something small happens, you know, people that are basically the feudal lords and people like that, they can kind of create some mess, so to say, unnecessary mess. And, you know, this was seen during the Hidden Mist arc as well, but it was really, you know, highlighted in this episode when the Kages were explaining to Sasuke that they better not postpone the Chunin exams, because Sasuke wanted to stop the exams because of the Otsutsuki threats. And obviously, you know, the scroll that he found in Kages, they mentioned, is being, you know, they're trying to see what's written there. I mean, yeah, you basically get the drill. Anyway, we had the second round, I believe they called it the second round, yeah, of the Chunin exam. And I must say that some of these new characters, I thought they were going to be kind of expanded. Like, I thought that their role in the episode or in this arc would be expanded, because when all of them were introduced in the last episode, and I remember when ninjas from the Hidden Stone Village were kicked out, a couple of people, myself included, were kind of unhappy, because, you know, they were like introduced, you could see shots of their faces really closely, and then they just went out. And also the triplets from the Mist, I don't know their names, they obviously, we knew that they were going to be disqualified, but nothing significant happened, right? It all went really, really quickly, and basically the second round finished today. Now, what are my favorite moments from the second round of the Chunin exams? Well, first of all, I really, really liked Metal Lee. I mean, I pretty much liked everything about it, but let me just mention Metal Lee. He was obviously fighting against Shinki. And I mean, Shinki, first he knocked out Denki and Iwabe with no difficulty, which is understandable, because, you know, Shinki is really, really overpowered, to be honest. And anyway, then we had Metal Lee versus Shinky, kind of. You can see that determination in Metal Lee, because he was punching Shinky's, I would say, pretty much ultimate defense. And you could see that his right hand, I believe, was bleeding. And I mean, not only that, you could see how determined he was throughout the fight. He was trying so hard, but he just couldn't do it. When he was possessed by the Nue earlier in Boruto, it was like in the first couple of episodes, like that happened in the first couple of episodes, right? It seemed like he opened the gates. Now, we don't know if it was the first or the second gate or the third. I don't think. It was probably the first or the second. So, like, it was interesting seeing Metal Lee not using any of the gates. But the thing is, like, this is the reason why it actually makes sense. He was trying, like, regular taijutsu, right? You're never gonna go all out at the start. And then Shinky took the flag, and, Metal Lee was, like, super surprised. If Shinky didn't take the flag at that point, I think Metal Lee would potentially open the first gate or something like that, because he wasn't nervous. That's a big thing. He, later on during the episode, when, Boruto's class gathered, Metal Lee mentioned that, like, he was like, I wasn't nervous, but I still couldn't do anything. And, like, I like these small details, you know what I'm saying? And overall, all I can say, for Team 5, Iwabe, Denki, and Metal Lee, they were extremely unfortunate to come up against the strongest Genin currently. I mean, Mitsuki in Sage mode would, I think, beat Shinky, but for the sake of the context, let's just say, that Shinky is the strongest Genin at the moment. I mean, and it's like he probably didn't even show 50% of his power. Like, what he's doing right now is literally less than 50% of his full capacity, and I'm 100% sure of it. And like, it was funny because his teammates were just casually, standing in front of the flag, and pretty much nothing happened. Shikacho, they did really, really well with their tactics. Chojo was huge. I mean, obviously, she can do her regular Akimichi jutsu that all Akimichis do, but like, she was really, really big. And like, I feel like a lot of people, not necessarily, I don't feel like Chocho is underrated, but people don't realize how powerful she really is, because she could knock out most Genins with that expansion jutsu. And anyway, as I said, I really, really like the sequence of Team 7. Sumire and her team, they were kicked out. Basically, they were beaten. Now, in the manga, and I'm gonna mention it now, I was holding back for months because, we got this in the manga way earlier, but I'm gonna say it now because, Sumire is out anyway. What's up with the whole thing of, Sumire taking the exams? Because in the manga, I don't want to spoil the plot, but, it was implied. I mean, it wasn't implied. It was literally said that, she decided not to take the Chunin exams, right? And she did decide to do it in the anime. So, like, after the Momoshiki attack, are they going to announce new Chunin exams and then she's going to decide not to do them? Or maybe, because in the manga she was asked, like, didn't you decide not to participate? Something like that. And, like, somebody else gave the answer for her. So maybe, like, they don't know the full truth. I don't understand what's up with that. I really hope that they're not fucking up the timelines and the plot points between the manga and the anime. Because, like, we were all expecting, like, I'm referring to all manga readers, we were expecting to see something happening with Sumire's character for basically weeks right now. I remember when episode 49 was airing, that was the episode that focused on, Sumire, Wasabi, and Amira. I was like, is this the episode when, Sumire decides not to participate in the Chunin exams because, it was stated in the manga. But I don't know. I just don't know what they're gonna do with that. I hope they're not screwing up things. But anyway, her team is out. And I guess later on she's just gonna decide that she doesn't want to be a ninja or something like that. And I just had to bring it up. I mean, I've been seeing YouTubers talk about this casually without any spoiler warnings for months right now. So most of you already know this. But like, it's like, what the fuck's going on with the plot? Anyway, it's not a huge detail. Let's talk about Team 7 in this second phase. So obviously, Boruto was the one to guard the flag, and Sarada and Mitsuki went ahead. And throughout this episode, Sarada was mentioning how she wants to become pass the Chunin exams, and she wants to become the Hokage. Obviously, we all know that she really has that will of fire inside her. And I mean, even in episode 56, I don't think I mentioned this in my episode 56 review, but at one point when they were choosing the true or false option in the first phase, she was like, I'm gonna choose the opposite of my dad's. I mean, she didn't literally say that sentence, but she was like, I want to become the Hokage. She wants to take her own path, or I should say Naruto's path, and obviously Boruto wants to become like Sasuke, right? Which is a really, really nice parallel, right, between the previous generation and the current generation of our ninjas, so to say. And anyway, Boruto's up against the triplets, and again, Boruto creates 4 clones, so we have 5 Borutos, but these guys, or these brothers, whatever, they make more clones, so it was I think 9 against 5. And obviously Boruto couldn't do anything against practically 3 powerful Genins. And the thing is, this is the first time Boruto used the ninja technology in the Chunin exam, obviously, because he did use the ninja tech to create the Rasengan, because he thought that Sasuke was going to reject him when he made the small Rasengan, even though Sasuke was going to accept him. Boruto didn't know that. He's struggling, he's super struggling all the time. He didn't want to be, rejected. He used it against Sasuke, but now he used it in the exam. And I know a lot of people are going to be, unhappy about this. I'm actually very happy about this and the whole ninja tech usage in this arc, because it will lead to some character progression of Boruto Uzumaki later on in this arc. And even if you didn't see the movie, the Boruto ending 5, the current ending, really foreshadows that, because at the end of the ending you clearly see Naruto and Boruto doing this, fist bumping. So it's not a spoiler, right? And Boruto uses ninja tech, but the thing is, before using it, he kind of sees these flashbacks of Sarada and how she wants to become a Chunin, and it really shows that Sarada means a lot to him. Now, I'm just, commenting on what I see. I don't keep this as a secret. 95% of you know that I ship Boruto, but really, objectively speaking, it really shows how Sarada important is to Boruto, and I'm not including my, shipping, not shipping. I'm not including my personal emotions here. I'm just analyzing. It really shows, and that bond is gonna be very, very strong. And right now, obviously, they're friends, right? They're kids, but I think chances of them, getting together romantically in the future are very, very high. At the end of the Boruto series, probably that's when the shippings are most likely going to happen. The ships, whatever. And later on, we had the scene with Sarada, and she commented on Boruto's eyes, which I will get into in a bit. But let me just quickly go through the scene where he uses ninja tech. That's the inner struggle. I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks right now. The anime expanded upon these struggles. I mean, this scene was pretty much the same in the movie, but I'm referring to the previous struggles. So, because of previous details added in the anime version of the Momoshiki arc, this scene has more value to it. And obviously, Boruto uses the ninja tech. He does the water style jutsu with using the ninja tech. And the thing is, this was changed from the movie. In the movie, he also used ninja tech for the lightning technique. But right now, he actually produced that lightning, and it really shows how good Boruto is when it comes to lightning style. And I mean, this was clearly shown in the Hidden Mist arc earlier in the anime, but that's a really, really nice change, and it's something that I really appreciate. So technically, he only used water. I mean, he only used ninja tech for the water style jutsu. And anyway, going back to the scene where Sarada comments on Boruto's eyes, Toneri mentioned Boruto's eye earlier in the anime, and how it's either going to basically save the world or completely fuck it up. You basically get the drill. He didn't literally say that. And, obviously he has a dojutsu. And now this comment from Sarada, it's really foreshadowing that something huge is going to happen at some point in the series. something that's connected to the Jogan, which is the official name for Boruto's dojutsu. And one of the animators of Boruto confirmed this, because it wasn't specifically confirmed in the anime, because, I remember when Tonetti mentioned Jogan on the moon, a lot of people were speculating, like, what's Jogan? I made a theory video, and my main theory was that it was the dojutsu because of the gun at the end, Sharingan, Byakugan, Jogan. And I was right, but just so you know, if you don't know this, if you're new to this channel, and if you haven't heard this on YouTube, the name is Jogan. Anyway, it really foreshadows something big. And, seeing that was really, really nice. How Sarada analyzes his eyes, and she mentioned how you can ask Naruto the same thing, like to analyze his eyes, and he's not gonna reject you. And like I just fucking love Sarada's character, man, and it's like really, really nice. And as a fellow Boruto shipper, did I just say sheeper? As a fellow Boruto shipper, I really, really enjoyed that moment, that's for sure. Anyway, the second phase finishes. I believe we had a short scene where, Sasuke and Naruto are talking about the fact that, Sasuke is training Boruto, and you can see Naruto smiling, which was just so fucking satisfying. And then he was like, Sarada also passed, aren't you happy? And he was like, I knew she was gonna pass. Just, casual badassery from Sasuke. And, some of these interactions are written really, really well. Like, the dialogue scenes of Boruto, like, perfect. Anyway, before that scene, Naruto got the news, right, that Boruto passed, and he was like super happy when he was left alone in the Hokage office, which is something I really, really enjoyed, the goofy side of Naruto. I mean, not necessarily the goofy side, but like not his old self, like his reactions, the way he shows happiness. Like, now he's the Hokage, right? So he's gonna be, serious in front of Shikamaru. But as soon as Shikamaru leaves, he's like, yes, my son, passed and all that. It's something that I really, really enjoy. Again, Boruto is struggling mentally, and when he goes home, he decides to go to his room and sleep until the dinner is basically ready, which is something that caught Hinata off guard. Like, I mean, she saw that something was strange when it comes to Boruto. And obviously it's because he used the ninja tech and he kind of feels guilty. Now, here's another thing that kind of bothered me. When he was in his room, at one point he's like, if I, like, this ninja tool is awesome or something like that, with this I can't lose, something like that. And I feel like it was natural for him to say it eventually, but I feel like they should have added another scene before that of Boruto struggling. I don't feel like that specific moment was executed properly, because, for episodes he's struggling every 2 minutes, and now he just, he's on his bed and he's like, this is awesome or something like that. It's a minor detail. A lot of you won't even judge it, but you guys know how my reviews work. I like to analyze every single moment and to view it from an objective perspective, so to say. And it felt unrealistic, but when I say unrealistic, I'm referring literally, like, there should have been a 2-second scene before it so that the scene makes more sense. But, it's not something huge, but again, it's gonna affect the episode rating, again, which I already mentioned. Anyway, Boruto is in his room, Naruto enters, you can see him struggling to talk to Boruto. As he looks at the picture of Boruto and him when Boruto was a kid, he's thinking, he's struggling, and oh my god, the emotions I felt. Like, I teared up. Like, I'm speechless, guys. And, when I'm speechless, it's usually because something is so good. I don't know what to say. It felt nostalgic. And, seeing Naruto struggling to express his emotions, that's what I'm trying to say. And, it's all kind of awkward, but it's written really, really well, obviously. And, he tells Boruto that this is something important, he did well, and he basically tells him don't lose to Shikadai. And as he does this, obviously Boruto can't, he has the ninja tech, right, on his arm, basically. And the same thing happened when he was talking to Sarada, right? He had to use his left arm. But basically, Boruto couldn't fist bump back, and he just sits there and he casually smiles. He was like, "Thank you." I mean, I don't know what exactly what he said. Doesn't really matter. And then Naruto touches his chest, and like I even tweeted this because I got super emotional. Like I fucking loved that moment. One of my favorite moments in the series so far. Because like I value both Naruto and Boruto, like their characters, a lot. They are some of my favorite anime characters. I mean, Naruto specifically is my favorite anime character. So like I must say that I'm gonna remember that moment for a long, long time. And obviously, at the start of my review, I mentioned that I'm kind of bothered by the fact that they didn't have Boruto tear up. But again, it's not affecting the episode rating. Now, the rating I'm gonna give to this episode. So the scene I mentioned with Boruto, saying that this ninja tech is awesome or whatever, minus 0.5 because of that. Minus 0.5 because of the lack of depth in these new characters. Again, it's not mandatory for them to be super complex or anything, but I just thought that the way they were introduced, like it was necessary for them to do a bit more. So again, minus 0.5. Right now, we're standing at 9 out of 10, and I'm just gonna take away another 0.5, and it's gonna be 8.5. And the reason for that is something that I mentioned at the start of the review: the scene with Urashiki and Gaara, which lacked suspense, and it was supposed to be suspenseful. But despite that, the scene was great. Anyway. So 8.5, a solid rating, and I can't let my bias, interfere, because I would give this episode 100 million out of 10 because of some of the moments in this episode, interactions between Naruto and Boruto. Boruto thinking about Sarada, the interaction between Sarada and Boruto. These are some of my highlights, my personal favorite moments. But as I said, 8.5 out of 10. Anyway, that was your boy Son Hokage. Twitter and Discord links are in the description below. If you're new to the channel and if you're into Boruto, consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.